And what's up, guys? It's Scott from Cyberspace PC coming at you with another episode. And there's a lot going on in the tech news lately. We've got new cards coming from both AMD and NVIDIA, and new consoles coming for the holiday season. So it seems like another day, another big story seems to be coming out from everywhere. And today, I'd like to talk about the RTX 3080. The news just seems to be getting better and better about this card, and that might be by accident or perhaps by design, as NVIDIA is definitely pulling out all the stops to try and stave off Big Navi. It's been rumored that NVIDIA really doesn't want Big Navi to be faster than the 3080. But I guess that's still to be determined, as we don't know a lot about Big Navi yet. But this is good news for us gamers, because the 3080 specs seem to be going up. So Rogame has leaked that the 3080 will top out at about 2.1 gigahertz on the clock speed. This is about the same as the current Turing generation. But don't despair, we're getting a node shrink. We're going to the Samsung 8 nanometer process, which should give us some better energy efficiency. Of course, they may turn this around and put it into the performance end of things, so it may not be more energy efficient, but it might be more performant in games, which is always good. And it looks like the card will feature 19 gigabit per second GDDR6X memory. Now this is important because that's going to give us a lot more bandwidth. The bandwidth is going up. It's going to be 760 gigabits per second, which is about a 53% jump in the memory bandwidth over the 2080 Super. So keep in mind, this is a 3080 launching. This isn't a 3080 Super or something non-TI. So you're getting a 50% jump in bandwidth over the Super. And I looked into it, and it's going to be about a 19% jump over the 2080 Ti. So this is exciting. This is going to give us a lot more ability to see those textures, play 4K games a lot better. And I think that's what this card is shooting for, is a really nice 4K 60 FPS experience. I don't think we're going to have to rely on the 3080 Ti for awesome 4K performance this time around. And as the card is rumored to be about $800, I just don't see how anyone can be disappointed with a card that's supposed to be about 20% more performant than the 2080 Ti, that's going to game at 4K, maybe 15, 20 plus percent better. So yes, it's kind of disappointing to see that the 80 series is going to be the most expensive it's ever been, but it's also going to be the most performant that we've ever had. So you're lowering the entry to that ultra 60 FPS 4K gaming experience down from, $1,200, $1,300 to potentially $800. Of course, you're going to have some AIB cards, some of the Asus ROG Strikes, let's see, Aorus, Gigabyte Aorus models. Those might go for 900, perhaps 1,000. But, some of the, more reasonable cards, EVGA Black and so forth, should be closer to the MSRP. So this is a great thing. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we're looking at about 10 gigabytes of this GDDR6X memory. Now, there's some speculation that there's going to be 20 gigabytes of memory, but looking back at how NVIDIA gives us memory, typically we get little bits of memory each generation, going back to the 980 Ti with 6 gigabytes of VRAM. Then we moved on to the 1080 Ti with 11, then the 2080 Ti also with 11. So for the 2080 having 8 gigabytes of VRAM, going to the 3080, going to 10 gigabytes of VRAM, that makes a lot more sense rather than jumping from 8 up to 20. I mean, there could be a variant, but I just don't see where for regular gaming, even if it's 4K, that we're going to need 20 gigabytes of VRAM. Maybe if we're looking at 8K gaming off in the future, we'll see numbers like that. But here in 2020, moving into 2021 next year, I just don't see where that's going to really be applicable unless you're doing professional, workloads, and that's going to be more for the Titan type cards, Quadro cards, not a gaming card for sure. So to recap, the 3080 looking really good, slated to be about $800, and it looks like it's going to be a 4K gaming beast of a card, and certainly a high refresh 1440p and an ultra refresh 1080p card. Going to have 10 gigabytes of GDDR6 running at 19 gigabits per second for a bandwidth of 720 gigabits per second, which, don't forget, when this card launches, it's going to be the most performant card, consumer grade card in the world. Well, probably just any card for gaming. It's going to be faster than a Titan. So I would expect sales to be pretty brisk. It's certainly not a mid-range price, but for all you folks out there with 4K monitors and TVs ready for that under a $1,000 card, that does bring up the point: is the card going to sell for MSRP, or is it the price just going to skyrocket with demand? So that's another thing. You might want to get your I don't usually like to pre-order things myself, but if you're really interested in this card, pre-ordering might not be a bad idea, just to get in line and get your hands on one of them as soon as you can, if that's what you're looking for. But don't forget, 3080 Ti coming after that. Big Navi for those who are looking for something other than NVIDIA. Looks like we're going to have a nice option there later this year, providing there's no delays and so forth. We have seen a few delays here and there, but all in all, it's looking up to be a super fantastic card launches from both AMD and NVIDIA later this year. Unfortunately, prices are kind of creeping up, but there's going to be kind of a price point, it seems like, for anybody, especially if you're willing to get used cards, RX 580s, 570s, still under 150, easily, readily available. Get a nice 1080p card. Still got the 5700 XTs out there. $300-400 price point. 2070 Supers, around $500, kind of entry-level 4K gaming there, at least for the time being. So I've gone on too long already, but yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Does the 3080 look pretty good to you? It sure does to me, at least on paper. So we'll see if all this goodness actually translates to an awesome gaming card. I think that I just don't see how it's not going to be, but let me know what you think down in the comments. Questions? Is there any concerns that you guys have about these cards upcoming? Are you looking more forward more to the consoles? Are you looking to see what the mid-range, the 60 and 70 range class of cards coming? Certainly wanted to discuss that in the comments down below. And I do ask you if you could please like, share, especially if you could subscribe. A little light on subscribers now, as this is a new channel, so you don't want to miss out on any of the great stuff coming at you from here on out. And for Cyberspace PC, this is Scott, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.